Wow, we only needed one dong. Ding. Dong. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's a fabulous spring day, isn't it? It's just yummy. I want to say good morning to all of you here and in the chapel and those on YouTube. We're especially glad to have you with us if this is your first time, and hope to see you again. I'd like to remind everyone to silence their phone and other noise-making machines because we always forget to do it. Now, the problem is that when you get to your car, you need to remember to turn it back on. Otherwise, people get upset. I left you all these messages.
It makes for a peaceful Sunday.
Okay, I am the Reverend Suzie Matranga-Watson, and I am your worship leader today. Eastrose Fellowship sits on the occupied territory of the Clackamas Chinook people who were forcefully displaced from this land to the Grand Ronde Reservation in 1855. We acknowledge the sacrifices endured by the ancestors of this land, and our presence here today is only possible because of the injustices committed against them. We recognize the inherent sovereignty of the Chinook Nation and Confederate tribes of Grand Ronde, who carry on the traditions, history, and legacy held by their ancestors from time immemorial to this day. We seek meaningful relationship with these communities that foster repair. Now, although you were talking to each other before, let's take a moment to greet each other today, both here in the chapel, but first, let's turn around, face the cameras and the clock, and wave at the people on the internet, and welcome them. And then welcome your neighbors. Today, after the service, we have our monthly potluck. Now, if you did not bring anything to share, you don't need to worry about it because we always have lots of food. So please stay. It'll be in the back room, and that's when you can talk and share some more. The responsive reading will be on the screen in a minute. And this is from We Labor in Love. And
You'll read the yellow.
yeah, I just was waiting for it to show up. I guess, okay. There we are. In celebration of International Workers' Day, we honor our work, physical and mental, paid and unpaid, joyous and heartbreaking.
We give thanks for work's gifts, suffer its difficulties, and strive to make labor just and joyous for all.
Our work can build our society, provide for our material needs, and give our life meaning.
We labor in gratitude.
Our work can damage our society and the planet, fail to sustain our material needs, and be meaningless.
We join together to create work that supports the well-being of all.
Our work can heal the world, help us understand who we are, and keep us safe.
We labor in joy.
Our work can harm the world, demean us, and expose us to danger.
We join together to create work that is safe and humane.
Our work can fill our days with accomplishments and our lives with stories.
We labor in love.
Our work can dissatisfy and alienate us. We may not be able to find enough work or any work.
We join together to create work that blesses us, all people, and the land.
Today and in all the days to come,
May our work and all our work
serve humanity and all living beings. My goodness. Okay, here we are. The chalice lighting it's actually in our hymn book, number 560, Commitment, and this is from Dorothy Day. People say, what is the sense of our small effort? They cannot see that we must lay one brick at a time, take one step at a time. A pebble cast onto a pond causes ripples that spread in all directions. Each one of our thoughts, words, and deeds is like that. No one has the right to sit down and feel hopeless. There's too much work to do.
Thank you, Susie. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Our opening words today is a poem by Carl Sandburg called Psalm of Those Who Go Forth Before Daylight. He writes, "The policeman buys shoes slow and careful. The teamster buys gloves slow and careful. They take care of their feet and hands. They live on their feet and hands. The milkman never argues. He works alone and no one speaks to him. The city is asleep when he is on the job. He puts a bottle on 600 porches and calls it a day's work. He climbs 200 wooden stairways. 2 horses are company for him. He never argues. The rolling millmen and the sheet steel men are brothers of cinders. They empty cinders out of their shoes after a day's work. They ask their wives to fix burn holes in the knees of their trousers. Their necks and ears are covered with soot. They scour their necks and ears. They are brothers of cinders." Our opening hymn, continuing with our theme, is number 357 in the gray hymnal, Bright Morning Stars. Please rise as you are willing and able.
Good morning. Today I have a question for you to think about. Have you ever felt like you had way too much to do and not enough time to do it? I think we have all experienced that feeling at times. Child development experts have raised concerns that today's children are chronically overscheduled with so much homework and so many extracurricular activities that they lack essential downtime. Of course, this isn't true for every child. We're speaking in general terms. The same certainly applies to many adults. We often define ourselves by what we do rather than who we are. But downtime isn't doing nothing. It's vital for brain health, improving mood, concentration, and attention, and preventing burnout. Today's story introduces us to a young chickadee who juggles so many interests and responsibilities that he has no time left for his best friend, for play, or even sleep. His packed schedule causes him to lose sight of what matters to him the most. Let's see what happens in Overscheduled Andrew, written and illustrated by Ashley Spires. Andrew loved putting on plays. He joined the drama club so he could wear costumes and perform on a real stage. His best friend Edie helped him learn his lines on the way home from school. Sometimes they got a little distracted. Andrew was a natural actor, but even naturals have to practice. His teacher suggested that he work on his public speaking by joining the debate club. As Andrew's voice got stronger, so did his arguments. Furthermore, he won so many of his debates that Calvin suggested he use his smarts for chess club. 3 clubs seemed like a lot, but Andrew could manage. During play rehearsals, Andrew found it hard to keep up with the dance routines. So he signed up for ballet lessons and a karate class to improve his coordination. Andrew was busy. 3 days a week, he stayed after school for one of his clubs. Afterwards, he went to ballet or karate, then home for dinner, homework, and bed. But his new classes were helping with drama club. He spoke his lines clearly and loudly, and he danced gracefully. He's very good. And even with all his activities, Andrew made sure to see Edie. There was always time for fun. Until Coach asked Andrew to play for the tennis team, and Chris begged him to be the school newspaper editor. And Grandma insisted that he learn to play the bagpipes. Andrew was busier and busier, and his days were longer and longer. To make matters worse, he kept finding things he wanted to do. He joined French Film Club to learn more about acting. Au revoir, papa. He started singing lessons to help him hit the high notes. And he signed up for Spanish classes because speaking another language is just plain useful. ¿Dónde está el baño? At least Andrew still got to spend time with Edie, though only for 15 minutes on Friday afternoons between bagpipe lessons and French Film Club. Unfortunately, he rarely stayed awake for the full 15 minutes. Keeping up with his schedule left Andrew exhausted. His tired eyes missed mistakes in the newspaper. During singing lessons, his tone was flat. And his reflexes weren't quite what they used to be. Andrew's schedule was getting all mixed up in his head. He danced his way through debate club. He argued his way through karate, for example. He honked his way through tennis, and he backhanded his chess match. Worst of all, he missed his cue in the big drama club performance. Romeo? When Andrew woke up, everyone had gone home. Almost everyone. All his hard work had been for the play, and he had missed the whole thing. Andrew had never been so sad. He felt just like a character in a French film. Clearly, he was doing too much. The next day, Andrew quit debate, chess, ballet, karate, tennis, Spanish, the bagpipes, and the newspaper. Sorry, gotta go, too much. He didn't quit everything, though. There was always another drama club performance or French film to watch. Now Andrew was free to walk home with Edie again and get distracted. They even met up with some friends and formed a new club, the no-schedule kind. May we all remember that making space for rest, play, and connection is not a luxury. It's essential for our well-being. And with that, it's time for us to make our departure. So let's say goodbye to Reverend Robin and the adults. Wait here with me while the adults along the center aisle form a bridge, and we'll sing the children out. Thank you.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life, we hold you in our love as you go.
I invite you now into some quiet time with me. Take one big breath in and one big exhale. Drop your shoulders, relax your face, begin your rhythmic breathing. 4 beats in through your nose, slowly. 5 or 6 beats out through your mouth, slowly, in a steady rhythm, creating spaciousness as you breathe, following your breath, just being with your breath, seeing where it can take you. Let's breathe. While you breathe, I offer this blessing for work by John O'Donohue. May the light of your soul bless your work with love and warmth of heart. May you see in what you do the beauty of your soul. May the sacredness of your work bring light and renewal to those who work with you and to those who see and receive your work. May your work never exhaust you. May it release well springs of refreshment, inspiration, and excitement. May you never become lost in bland absences. May the day never burden. May dawn find hope in your heart, approaching your new day with dreams, possibilities, and promise. May evening find you gracious and fulfilled. May you go into the night blessed, sheltered, and protected. And may your soul calm, console, and renew you. Slowly come out of your breathing and back into this space. And we'll remain seated to sing our quiet song, number 157, Step by Step, the Strongest March.
Sing we none, and by you
This reading is from Sandra Beasley. For 6 months, I dealt baccarat in a casino. For 6 months, I played Brahms in the mall. For 6 months, I arranged museum dioramas. My hands were too small for the Paleolithic, and when they reassigned me to lichens, I quit. I typed 91 words per minute, all of them help. Yes, I speak Dewey Decimal. I speak Russian, Latin, and a smattering of Kinkalikit. I can balance 7 diner plates on my arm. All I want to do is sit on a veranda while a hard rain falls around me. I'll file your 1099s. I'll make love to strangers of your choice. I'll do whatever you want as long as I can do it on that veranda. If it calls you, it's calling you, right? I once asked a broker what he loved about his job, and he said, making a killing. I once asked a serial killer what made him get up in the morning, and he said, the people.
If you work for yourself, or if you're retired, you may not have noticed or heard. Apparently, people dislike their jobs more than ever. The journalist Caitlin Penzie Moog explores this phenomenon in her article for Vox that focuses on the mega hit series on Apple TV called Severance. Who here has watched Severance? Yes. I can tell you that this dystopian, twisty drama is so compelling. I loved it, and season 2 was even better. No spoilers. Moog writes that Americans are quitting their jobs in droves. 25 million people in February of 2022, and I haven't seen a more current statistic. And this includes a startling number of clergy, by the way. Companies paying poverty wages are having a hard time finding and retaining workers, sometimes offering the same minimum wage that they did decades ago. Teacher, clergy, and nurses shortages abound. Highly paid digital workers don't want to return to the office, and managers can't convince them why they should. The gig economy has exploded, and in some cases, imploded. The pandemic, which really wasn't that long ago, stripped the padding that made white-collar jobs bearable. Lunches with coworkers, Starbucks runs, breaks in the fresh air, leaving what Moog calls only the rotten core of actual work behind. That's dreary. Today, we are typically logging on to Slack or Zoom, where our coworkers are two-dimensional avatars. And some of us have become overworked Andrews. And you know, France had a solution for that. They made it illegal to email people about work on the weekends. Amazing. We are witnessing massive slashing of civil servants and the prediction that tariffs will force small companies to trim staffing or fold completely. Arts organizations are being gutted. AI is replacing a broad range of professions. Crucial farm workers have either fled the country or gone into hiding from ICE. It's a mess. Do you even recognize anymore the imagery of American workers that Sandburg honors in his poem? The milkman who puts bottles on 600 porches, the rolling mill men, the sheet metal men who are brothers of cinders, the men in the images and songs we've heard so far in this service. Setting aside these factors, consider your own work, the work you're doing now or the work you did before retirement. Is it or was it draining, energizing, meaningful, just a paycheck? Does it detract from the parts of your life that bring you meaning? Or is it the only thing that makes you feel like life has meaning? Are you invested in it, or are you quiet quitting, a new term for doing the bare minimum? Enter the Apple TV show I praised earlier. The main character, Mark S., has voluntarily undergone a procedure known as severance, which means he's had a device planted in his brain that enables him to not remember what happens during his workday. His outie, the person outside of work, becomes his innie in a special entry elevator at the futuristic, incredibly creepy, and cult-like Lumen Industries, where he works along co-workers on what is called the severed floor. It's an intoxicating premise. If you were paid handsomely to do it, would you? Would you sever your work life from your private life? Mark and his severed comrades have been led to believe that Lumen offers the most in-demand perk of all, work-life balance, in a very creepy package. His job self, his innie, spends his days sorting and filing numbers in the macro data refinement department for no reason he knows of, at least in the first season, and his outie is blissfully unaware of any of that and the pointlessness of it. But this hasn't translated into happiness for his personal self. He's really as miserable as ever in his outie life. Moog notes that Mark and his co-workers, Dylan, Helly, and Irving, make an ideal workforce to be exploited. With no personal memories and no context of the outside world, they attempt to understand their jobs and surroundings in a childlike and naive way. They even lap up the surreal perks that management dangles in front of them, which is clearly a spoof of the goodies offered at the high-tech campuses in Silicon Valley. An egg bar, a melon party, a dance experience with defiant jazz, and a waffle feast in the perpetuity room. Don't ask. Yet, being severed, or Lumen's sterile environment, doesn't quiet their human impulse to care about their coworkers. In this way, severance is a sneaky pay-in to worker solidarity. It's not The Office or Cheers or any other workplace setting I've ever seen on TV. No show has captured quite so accurately how damaging work can be to real life if we let it. Moog believes that severance spotlights the idea that we are our jobs, that we speak of work-life balance because we know work isn't our life. When Mark tells Helly he just hopes he has things he cares about outside of Lumen, it's because he knows his job isn't one of those things. The gloominess of our current workscape was summed up by journalist Daniel Mesler, who suggests that, quote, work tends to be a series of disconnects and burst expectations punctuated by a few rays of light. I think that's a little too gloomy, but he did research. Half the US workforce reports that they are not engaged in their job, and many are quiet quitters. and yet others are plugged in 24/7 or overworked Andrews. And in France, they're enjoying their weekend. Today, as we honor International Workers' Day, which takes place on May 1st, it's essential to report that entire sectors of our economy are based on a large pool of low-wage earners. 44%, or 53 million people in America. Often this work is physically exhausting and arduous. Self-employed gig workers live precariously while their employers fight tooth and nail so they won't be classified as employees, be able to receive unemployment or any other benefits. Ask any adjunct lecturer at PSU about that, or an Uber driver, or a part-time teacher's aide, or a health home care worker with no benefits. And the pandemic heightened this brutality by deeming some jobs essential and others non-essential. And interestingly, a lot of those essential jobs were the very ones where workers are underpaid and poorly treated. The stakes have never really been higher for workers. The mutual loyalty that characterized work in much of the 20th century, get a job, stay with a company, you're good for life, collect your pension, right? A house in Levittown, a car, maybe a boat or a vacation house. Kids go to college. That is all gone. While the wealth of American billionaires, need I name them, grows greater than the GDP of more than half the world's countries, the turnover rate at their companies is extreme. At Amazon warehouses, notoriously, workplace injuries are rampant and people have literally collapsed at their workstations. The loss of dignity is laid bare as we receive our guaranteed 2-day delivery. Now, unions can't solve every worker's issue, but they can win workers a seat at the table. Tech companies, media, nonprofits, museums, and other groups not traditionally drawn to unionization are revolting against the new norms that dehumanize them and are attempting and sometimes succeeding in unionizing. The creator of Severance, Dan Erickson, underscores this idea, commenting that there are certain things we learn as humans, like empathy and self-worth, that we're often discouraged from bringing to the workplace to our own detriment. The less of ourselves we bring to work, the easier it is to be roped in to negative practices. But also, we need some separation from work in order to not lose ourselves entirely. Even if you work or worked in a positive or humane environment, reducing yourself to any single characteristic, whether by your title or your job performance, is a deeply damaging act. A profession is not a personality. It is not personhood. In his essay entitled A Strange Labor, Karl Marx wrote that workers are objectified and made into miserable shells. Whether you agree with that assessment or not, too many people who work hard and strive for success self-objectify as excellent work machines and tools of performance. Waffle party, anyone? Others objectify us too. Engineers are never illogical. Therapists are never sad. Laborers don't read. In my case, as a minister, I'm supposed to be non-anxious and inspiring and humble, yet poised and confident, and never think churlish thoughts. It's a reduction down to a postage stamp of a stereotype. Think of your own profession. What does that postage stamp look like? And do you feel required to fall for it? In that poem entitled Vocation that Suzie read for us, Sandra Beasley captures the zombie-like trance dance of the human as worker, writing, "For 6 months I dealt baccarat in a casino. For 6 months I played Brahms in a mall, and so on. I typed 91 words per minute, all of them help." She speaks deciduous Dewey Decimal, Russian, Latin, a smattering of Klingit, can balance dinner plates on her arm. Once I asked a broker what he loved about his job, and he said making a killing. Once I asked a serial killer what made him get up in the morning, and he said, the people. We need to work in order to afford the expenses on the other side of the severance elevator, our everyday life. Yet in a healthy system, one that the protagonist in Beasley's poem doesn't inhabit, your career or job should be an extension of you, not vice versa. It seems, at least by observing our current society, the internet, the news, social media, that people have become an avatar of themselves, that work is not as values-driven as it has been in the past. There was a time when people chose professions or trades or blue-collar jobs because they reflected something the worker believed in, whether that was being a healer or a teacher or a preacher or a civil servant or a steel worker who felt like they were part of something bigger, the building of a nation. Work had a soul. What is proliferating now is a workscape based on branding of self and profit, affiliate marketing through Amazon, TikTok. There is nothing wrong with making a buck, and the disappearance of work security is one of the spurs here. But I wonder, though, if soul and a concurrence of values are quickly evaporating from how we approach our chosen labors, whether we want them to or not. And many people are finding that meaning now in volunteer work, the kind of meaning they found in their paid work. Arthur Brooks, whose work I frequently read and note in my sermons, takes on this topic in his piece for The Atlantic called How to Stop Your Job from Becoming Your Identity. He tells us, I know many people who talk of almost nothing besides their work, who are saying essentially, I am my job. He adds that this may feel more humanizing and empowering than saying, I am my boss's tool, but that reasoning has a fatal flaw. In theory, you can ditch your boss and get a new job, but you can't ditch you. Well, unless you live in the world of severance. And then, when the end inevitably comes, either through job loss or professional decline, or perhaps retirement, we can be set adrift. As one CEO self-objectifier par excellence quipped to Brooks, in 6 months after retirement, I went from who's who to who's he. Brooks lays out some self-reflective questions for us. Are you a self-objectifier in your career? Is or was your job the biggest part of your identity? Have you or do you sacrifice personal relationships for work? Foregone romance, friendship, or family for your career? Do you or have you had trouble imagining being happy without your professional identity? Does that feel like a death to you? Does being special or important mean more to you than being happy? Has the passion or zeal you once felt gone out of your work? If so, how might you revitalize it? Have you found soul in your work, either currently or in the past? In a personal essay for The New Yorker called The Work You Do, The Person You Are, the renowned author Toni Morrison recalls her pride in earning $2 by house cleaning a lovely home with wall-to-wall blue and white carpeting and plastic-covered furniture. She remembers that the woman of the house had butter, sugar, and seams up the back of her stockings. Luxuries. This was during the 40s when children were not just loved or liked, they were needed, she says. They earned money. She got better at cleaning and gained more responsibility. Her employer made increasing demands she did not know how to refuse. One day she whined to her father. He listened intently and told young Toni, listen, You don't live there. You live here with your people. This is your life. Go to work, get your money, and come on home. Morrison concluded that she's worked for all sorts of people since then, geniuses and morons, quick-witted and dulled, big-hearted and narrow. I've had many kinds of jobs, she tells us, but since that conversation with my father, I have never considered the level of labor to be a measure of myself, and I have never placed the security of a job above the value of love. So may we labor in love, and may we stand up, march, and raise our voices for the dignity of all workers. Blessed be, blessed we, and amen. And our final hymn is number 1028 in the Teal hymnal, The Fire of Commitment. Please rise as you are able.
I just want to thank Mary for her beautiful piano playing. Each week, we take an offering to support this church and to share with a community nonprofit. Through August, half our offering will go to NIA, Native American Youth and Family Center, which serves Native Americans from across the Portland metropolitan area. Their aim is to enhance the diverse strengths of youth and families in partnership with community through cultural identity and education. They promote healthy living through positive alternatives to high-risk behaviors and promote the values of sobriety, family, stability, culture, active lifestyles, and education. Our congregation is involved in several projects with NIA, and we encourage you to check Petals or contact Karen, I think she's outside the doors, for ways to join this partnership. If you are attending online, you may donate by visiting our website and clicking on the Donate button, or you may scan the QR code on the screen. If you are here for the first time, we invite you to let the basket pass and truly be our guest. The gifts of the congregation will most gratefully be received. Seated and sing our song of gratitude. It's 10:10 in the teal hymnal, and the words are on the screen.
Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away. This time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Words are from Eric Hepburn. We extinguish this flame to remind us love is the center. As we explore and rest, engage and heal, love remains the center. When all we can see is cold ashes, love remains. Before I say the announcements, I just want to thank the people that were responsible for this service. Reverend Robin, Mary Reese for the music, Tara Toler for the children's story, but actually it's really for all of us. John and Aya, is it Ayla? Ayla, thank you for the AV. We have two wonderful greeters out there. They're waving at me. And, oh yes, me. And also the two people that passed the baskets. I always grab somebody, and if you're here early, it may be you. Oh, and of course, coffee. And all the people that brought the wonderful food that we are going to share at the potluck. And there'll be plenty for everyone. I do have two announcements. Snowcap is this coming Friday from 3 to 5, May 9th. We need more hands, a good chance to support the larger community. Basically, you go to Snowcap and you, whatever they need you to do, put potatoes in bags, put fruit somewhere, put cans in boxes, whatever is needed for the community. It is well needed. And we, as Eastrose, are a founding member of Snowcap, so we'd like to continue that. Friendship dinners, Saturday, May 24th. Sign up today, and next Sunday is the deadline. Linda Schellek, Linda, raise your hand. Linda's in charge of that. It is, you get a group of people that go to someone's home for dinner, and it depends. It could be a potluck, it could be, who knows, whatever the host wants. And you get to know people on a nice level of conversation and with food. Okay.
Also next week is our flower communion. So bring a flower, take a flower. If you can't bring a flower, there will be a lot of flowers. And we will also have spirited conversations after the service next week. Please say the benediction with me.
Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings.
Go out in joy. Return in love. Thank you.